Welcome back to the channel, my friend, where today I finally get to answer. I've been waiting to put this video together for you. I always do a market update once a quarter, and we finally have Q1 numbers for 2026 are in. If we haven't had the chance of meeting my friend, my name's Anthony Mosley. I'm a real estate broker here in Northwest Arkansas, and I help people just like you, after presenting the facts, decide, is Northwest Arkansas, is Bentonville, Rogers, Fayetteville, Springdale going to be the next best place for their family to live or not?
No.
Yes! And in today's video, you have to have some historical context. When I'm doing my market updates, I'm talking specifically about Benton County houses. I'm not looking at condos, duplexes, multifamilies, land. This is Benton County houses, and time again, giving this consistent data to you to be able to look over time. How are things shifting? I also look back the last 5 years of quarters. So Q1 2026 versus 25, 24, 23, 22, and 21. I believe that it's very helpful for you to see the last 5 years worth of the same quarter so you can understand how we are tracking year in and year out. We're going to look at homes sold. We're going to look at new construction versus existing homes. In our market here in Northwest Arkansas, there's so much new construction. It's important, I believe, to break that out for you so you can understand what might be skewing the data. And of course, where we compared active properties available this year versus last year. Because real estate is hyper-local, let's start on a national level before we break into the video and understand that according to the National Association of Realtors, we are a bit flat compared to where we've been in years past, but they are predicting, as of Q4 last year, they are predicting that we're going to see anywhere from 14 to 15% more homes sell in 2026 versus 2025 and 2024 respectively. That's a significant jump in the total amount of homes sold. Of course, we have geopolitical factors that are happening. We have interest rates to consider also. We'll get into a little bit of that. I'm not going to get political on you, but good, bad, or indifferent, if there is a conflict going on overseas, there are many people that back off of considering buying or selling at this time to say, hey, let me see what happens with that first before I make a major financial decision like buying or selling a home. Conversely, there are people that are saying, you know what, because there's something going on overseas, I better jump on it now before things either continue to get higher prices or interest rates get more volatile, what have you. There's two schools of thought there. My advice, the best time to buy or sell a home is today or yesterday, not hey, let's wait to see what happens in the future, because we cannot go back in time. The home that you might like might no longer be available. All right, let's go ahead and pop up a chart showing the last 5 years of Q1 sales. You can see here from 2021, there were 1513. We peaked in 2022 at 1643. 1643 is a lot of homes sold in one quarter in our market. 2023, we dipped back down. 2024 was our lowest Q1 in the last 5 years, and then we picked back up in 2025. And we picked back up again here in 2026 with 1,374 total home sales in Benton County, Arkansas. Earlier, I had mentioned about interest rates. Right about the end of February, we saw interest rates dip all the way down into the upper fives. I say all the way down, right? Remember back in 2020 when they were in the 2s and 3%?
It was the best of times. It was the, worst of times.
Yes, so we dipped back down into the 5s, and now because of world conflict and what's going on with interest rates and job reports, the mortgage interest rate has gone back up. I'm not a lender, I'm not a financial advisor, but as of yesterday, Mortgage News Daily says that the 30-year fixed interest rate is 6.43%. On a 30-year jumbo loan, it's 6.6%. And then if you're looking at FHA and VA, they are still in the upper 5s at 5.91 and 5.92 respectively. Looking back over the last 5 years worth of Q1 quarters, let's break out the new construction versus existing. James, please go ahead and pop up that chart. If you guys are ever wondering who James is the guy that's behind the camera, behind the charts, that's putting all this together for you to visually see when I'm telling you all about it. So James, let's go ahead and pop up the new versus existing homes from 2021 all the way through 2026. You can see, my friends, that not only are there more homes that sold 25 versus 26, but also new construction has continued to go up. This is actually the most new construction that has sold in Benton County for Q1 over the last 5 years. These charts might not be that exciting for you, my friend, but we get a little nerdy on this market update as per usual, but I think it's helpful for you to see what the numbers have done time and time again. We talk about real estate nationally. You've got different markets where they're seeing correction and recalibrating of real estate prices in certain markets. Whereas here in Northwest Arkansas, in this next chart, you'll see that things are maybe just a little flat. Average sale price for each respective quarter over the last 5 years. In 2021, you can see on this chart, the average sale price of a home in the first quarter of the year for 21 was just a little over $311,000. Fast forward all the way to 2025, last year's Q1 numbers, the average home that sold was $465,217. You'll see here on 2026, it was actually less. The average sale price for a home this Q1 in Benton County was $464,964. So about $300 less Q1 2026 versus Q1 2025. However, here's where the difference comes in, my friend. We're not looking at millions and millions of homes. We're looking at averages, not medians. So average, there can be some skewing of the data. Medians gives us a little bit better of a number to go off of. But many people ask me, hey, Anthony, what's the average home sale price? Not, hey, Anthony, what's the median home sales price? They ask me, what's the average? So I'm giving it to you how people typically ask. Of course, I have access to the median prices. But going back to the numbers, many homes that sold in Benton County in Q1 of 2026 were new construction. Going back to the chart, if you recall, 542 of the 1,374 homes that sold, we can see that nearly 40% of the homes that sold in Q1 of 2026 were new construction. The average new construction home that sold is less than $465. We're seeing a lot of new construction homes in Benton County from Rouse Coleman, from Schuber Mitchell, from D.R. Horton, sell below the average sale price, which is bringing sale prices down on average. Doesn't mean that the housing prices are coming down. It just means in our market, our hyper-local market, it means they're building a lot of those maybe starter homes, the 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage type homes, as opposed to the 4-bed, 3-bath, 3-car garage homes that are maybe closer to the $1 million range. Last year in Q1 of 2025, I know there were multiple neighborhoods in the upper 6-figure and low 7-figure range that were building new homes and that were closing out the beginning of the year. So that may have brought that average sale price up. So do I think prices are softening in Northwest Arkansas? No, I do not. In fact, I still think we are on a regular appreciation of about 3 to 5%. Please understand though, my friend, if you're a seller in today's marketplace, even if our market may be appreciating at 3% or 4%, we can see that tracked over the last couple of years, doesn't mean that your home has necessarily appreciated that much. It might be more, or it could very well be less. You might have some forced appreciation by doing some improvements to the property. But buyers in our market might not see those forced appreciation numbers and be agreeable to the price that you might want to market your home for. Let's move on to my favorite metric to hate, which is price per square foot. Let's go ahead and pop up the chart for the last 5 years of those. You can see in 2021, the average price per square foot of a home sold in Benton County Q1 of 21 was $141. Let's go ahead and flesh out the rest of the chart. $179, $192, $202, $217, and now Q1 is now over. The average home in Benton County sold for around $220 a square foot. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that price per square foot is like one of my pet peeves in real estate. People go, hey, why is this one $237 a square and this one's $250? Well, because that one's 500 square feet smaller than that one, and so yeah, price per square foot tends to do this a lot. If you're looking at this new home versus this new home that are right next to one another, they could very well have the same price per square foot. But we always have to consider, is one on a lake, is one with acreage? Does the other one have improvements? The other one have a 2-car garage? This one have a 4-bedroom? This one is a 3-bedroom? We have to factor all that in. We can't just blanket statement, oh, the price per square foot seems high. Compared to what? We have to really have a compared to what conversation when we talk about price per square foot. All right, my friend, that's historical data. Now let's look at more active data. I'm giving you the active properties that are available. At the end of Q1 2025, there were 1,180 homes that were available, with 447 of those being new construction. Here at the end of Q1 2026, this is something that's surprising to me. There are currently 1,952 homes that are available in Benton County for sale, and 736 are new construction. Nearly 800 more homes are on the market this time this year compared to this time last year.
Question.
Why is that, Anthony? Well, in my opinion, and based on what I can see in our market, we saw such a slowdown in our market because of interest rates, because of what's going on globally in conflicts overseas. Many people have said, hey, let's hold on while builders continue to build. Do I think that's a lot of inventory? No, I don't. But now there's more homes available for people to buy, which gives you as the buyer a bit more options to choose from. And if you're a seller in today's marketplace, understand that that might mean why your home is a little bit longer time on market. It might mean why buyers are being a little choosy is because there's 800 more homes available on the market this time this year compared to what it was this time last year. And for conversation's sake, let's go ahead and look what new construction homes are this year. Last year, as a reminder, was 447 of those homes were new construction. This year, 736 of those homes are new construction. So there's 300 more new construction homes in comparison to last year alone. Again, I'm not going to break down to the previous 5 years in that regard, because quite frankly, I wasn't tracking it in 2024, but I am now. The average new construction home last year was coming in at $518,000, whereas this year, new construction that's available on the market is priced at $542,000. This is kind of fun to see. In regards to existing homes, the average list price that was active this time last year was $699,000. This year, 2026, the average existing home that's available for sale is averaging $675,000. Again, when we're looking at not hundreds of thousands of homes, we're comparing hundreds to maybe 1,000 homes. The data can get skewed. Last year, I believe there was a couple homes around the market in the $15 million range, whereas this year we're still seeing some in that deep seven-figure range, but maybe tapping out around 7 to 10 million, not up in that $15 million range that's skewing the data up. Now let's look at what Q4 was for 2025 compared to where we are today. We are up inventory-wise. Q4 of 2025, we were at 1,782 total active. So we're a little bit higher than that, maybe about 150, 200 more homes. New construction's actually just slightly lower than where we were at the end of Q4 with 743 homes. Again, comparing where we are now, there's 736 available new construction homes right now on the market in Benton County. So you may be asking yourself, Anthony, what does all this mean? Okay, my friend, if you are a buyer in today's market, one thing that has come back to light to me is many people are asking me, hey, Anthony, what are we seeing as far as days on market? I usually see a seller asking that question because they're wanting to know, once we list the home, about how long before we could expect to see an offer. As a buyer, when you're asking that question, I find that very dangerous, and let me tell you why. If you're asking that, and there is a home that you see pop on the market, you're like, I love that house. That house looks great. And you're like, what's the average days on market? And I tell you, average days on the market is days on market. That is an average. It's not per house, it's an average. So if there is a home that you really like, and you're thinking, hey, Anthony told me it's average days on market, you might miss out if you're waiting, hey, it's only been 3 weeks and maybe there's a couple more days before somebody's going to come along and buy that house. If you like the house, let's figure it out. Let's work on it together and buy you that house. Of course, we'll run the numbers. We'll make sure, are they asking high? Are they asking low? Where is there bid activity on that property? But I don't want you to miss out just because you're looking at what average days on market are. As a seller, depending on what our strategy is working together, are we pricing it above market, at market, or slightly below to bring a lot of attention to the property? So when you say average days on market, and I tell you it's days on market, we could very well be shooting ourselves in the foot if that's a factor we're putting too much value on. What are interest rates going to do? I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball. That has always been and will forever be a baseball. Here's what we do know. Everything that's going on around our world in our day-to-day lives changes, and it changes in a heartbeat sometimes. Could it take months? Yeah, it could. But when you're needing to make a decision when it comes to buying or selling a home, if you're trying to time the market, most people don't do so hot when they try to time the market. If you are considering a move to Northwest Arkansas, we need to have a one-on-one conversation and really discuss through your specific situation and what makes sense, specifically your family. What price point are you in? Are you looking towards the end of summer or the beginning of summer? Are you looking to buy next year? Are you looking to possibly rent before you end up making a commitment to purchasing a home here in Northwest Arkansas? My friend, it's always a pleasure to put this information together for you, and now you know a little bit more about what life is like in around Bentonville. Thanks for watching.